So I want to start off by just getting one thing off my chest really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I have been living with my dog Chicano for a year and a half, and I learned something new about him.
Oh,
And that is that apparently peeing is very exciting to him.
yay.
He came into my office yesterday. I was working late. It was about midnight. And he just like walked in and was just like super happy looking. And I was like, what's up, buddy? I start petting him and he's all like happy about being petted and stuff. But he just keeps, and I was like, what's up, buddy? And I'm like scritching his head and stuff. And he's like, and then I looked at him. I was like, what else does he like? What does he want? Because he's not laying down. So I was like, do you want to go outside? And he like zoomed out of there and was like doing this goofy bunny run he does all the way to the back door. And I opened it. And he just ran into the yard to go pee. So
Aww.
apparently it is awesome to take a leak.
Like I said another time when we discussed dogs and peeing in the world. Who doesn't think peeing is exciting? It's very exciting. So,
Okay, I guess that's a fair point. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not exciting. I've seen him, in the morning and stuff, run to the bathroom, to the back of the house, to go outside. But I'd never seen him just act totally, completely and utterly amped. He was friggin' amped, man.
I mean, maybe he wasn't amped. Maybe he was, oh my God, I'm going to pee all over the place. Please let me outside.
He was doing his
Please.
happy boy stuff. I'm just saying. So,
Okay.
So speaking of natural and unnatural, lockdown has has caused me to find ways to amuse myself. And one of them has been just kind of like not buying weird things, but researching them heavily.
Okay.
Like I'll see, like I saw an ad. I don't think it was on Facebook. I think it was on YouTube. It was an ad talking about helping your hearing, but not a hearing aid, something more natural than a hearing aid to make you hear better. Now, we're not sponsored, so sorry.
I just said what?
I'll explain as best I understand. I'm not going to mention what it's called or anything because this is not an ad, and I don't know that I support this product at this juncture. But it's a company in Europe, and they make these little silicone earplugs, but they're very, very thin. And the theory behind them is that basically our ears evolutionarily are not really effective for our lives now, and that we're over bombarded with distracting sound because we have all this range of hearing that we don't really need, but that was very necessary when we were worried about predators and we were worried about being whatever, and that it causes us to get things like tinnitus. It tends to give us
Tinnitus. It's tinnitus.
no, it's
Sorry.
tinnitus.
No, it's tinnitus. My mom did she did the thing.
They called it tinnitus on in the movie Baby Driver.
They're wrong. She was a speech pathologist. It's tinnitus.
How do you say that thing cavemen were? What's that thing cavemen were?
What?
That thing that you called cavemen, that they're called. How do you say that?
Cavemen?
Yeah, what were cavemen?
People?
No, they were a type of an era of man. What were they?
I don't know.
You've never heard of a Neanderthal?
Oh, is that? Yeah, I figured you were going to do that, which is why I didn't.
You were being a dick.
Sorry.
My point is just that people say Neanderthal all the time, but it's Neanderthal.
Yeah, but it's really tinnitus. It's not tinnitus. Sorry. Yeah, I'm positive about this. Probably. just go. It's okay. Because my mom gets really angry when people say that. So.
All right, let's see how to pronounce tinnitus. I need to know now because then I'll change myself. Let's see. All right.
I'm sorry.
No, you were right. I
was right.
used the Google pronounce and it said tinnitus.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll pretend that I'm not the mongrel I am. So,
Oh,
but
I ruined everything.
what they were saying is that tinnitus, and other things like being overly stimulated, basically, from hearing can make it hard to relax. It can make it hard to focus, stuff like that. And I have noticed that sometimes I want quiet and it's like not there, like even when my surroundings feel quiet. So I got curious. They're literally these like specially shaped sleeves of silicone that you insert into your ear. And what they do theoretically is they focus the sound to your eardrum and skip all of the parts of the ear canal that stimulate the extraneous hearing receptors, basically.
Okay.
So I was like, this is weird. So I researched it and I found a guy on YouTube who is a music producer, and it was not like a sponsored video. He's like a vlogger, and he just happened to mention like, I bought these because he was British and it's a European product. So it's easier for him to get it. But he went on and on about how like he wears them when he mixes with speakers because he swears they help. And he said that the way he described it was like sunglasses for your ears. Like you put them in and for like a couple of minutes, you're like, things sound weird. And then you get used to it and you're like, whoa. So they're not expensive. They're about $12 USD for the plugs, but then it's like $12 more to ship it all the way to America. They came this morning. Which was extra great because it took like 2.5 weeks. And one other thing I love about lockdown is I love not Prime shipping now. I love when I don't remember buying something. I love like when it's a surprise. I'm like, oh man, I gave myself a gift. Somebody remembers me. But it came, and I remember literally looking at it going, Germany? The fuck is coming from Germany? And I opened it up and went, oh man, it's those. They're here. So I put them in. I read the instructions and I put them in. They're very comfortable and you really have to be looking to see them. They're very small.
Okay.
Felt a little weird. But sure enough, after like 3 or 4 minutes, I was like, I don't really care that they're in there. Like I can barely feel them. They're silicone. But I mean, I'm going to keep wearing them and keep seeing how I like them. But after 4 hours, 5 hours of wearing them, it was really weird. The only way I can describe it is everything was quieter and clearer, which doesn't compute with the way I usually describe like sounds. Usually things are clearer when the volume goes up, at least, a little bit, but it felt like everything was not as loud, but I could decipher it much better. It was very interesting. And the science they show off, I mean, if they're right, all it's doing is just funneling your sound better than evolution, basically, so that the sound reaches your eardrum in a more efficient way so that you hear it clearer.
I have concerns.
I want to hear them. That's
so
why it's content.
So my biggest concern when you told me that there was a YouTube person who's a music producer person, is that you want to mix the way people are going to hear things. So I'd be concerned that you'd be not realizing you're doing something, like there's an extraneous sound that you're not realizing is super annoying, but is super annoying because you have the things in. So I would be a little bit concerned about that. It's like when you're mixing, you don't want to mix super low or super high. You want to kind of mix in the middle so that like, if you mix like really low, then it only sounds good when it's really low. And if you turn it up, it sounds like shit. If you mix really high, it doesn't sound good in the rest of the range. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, for the record, these aren't meant for music professionals. They're meant for people. It's just that this guy was a guy who was like, I bought these out of curiosity and now I mix with them in because they make me hear so much clearer.
Okay. Well, I just, for that in particular, it kind of worries me. You're
worried like people will die if you mix it around.
Well, honestly, I have heard so many albums that I was like, wow, I can't listen to this because it just sounds terrible. And like, I'm not one of those people, like I can listen to like really shitty mixed things, but every once in a while there'll be something that's just like super painful.
Yeah.
That like, I'm just like, I don't know why you did this. This doesn't make any sense.
See, I do, and I've definitely listened to those before, but I think that those types of projects, I don't think nuance is the problem. I think that there's like a massive problem with their ability to mix. I'm just saying.
or like sometimes it's like it's kind of, they're trying to be experimental with the mix. And it's like, cool, but I can't like listen to it at all now. Thank you.
I remember when I first, because you went to school for recording.
Yeah.
I recorded those 2 albums. I listened to read Home Recording for Dummies. Do you remember when I bought that?
Yeah.
Well, it was really useful. It like,
you probably
really,
know more than I do.
Well, it told me that when it came to the mix, first of all, it made a very clear point about how it's like, if you have a guitar and you want it to sound more full, put a different effect on it on the left channel than on the right channel. And that was the biggest thing ever mixing, is the moment I started doing that, I was like, wow, these guitars sound huge, because one's like a little kind of fuzzy amp and then one's a stack, and it just like would really, or even, on one side, this side's got like a little bit of a dreamy kind of phase, but then the other side's just acoustic, and you're like, whoa, there's so much space. But they recommended like putting your headphones on, closing your eyes, and imagining that there's a band playing in front of you.
Okay.
And then going, okay, so the guitarist is to the left.
Mm-hmm.
The bass player's to the right, the drummer's in the middle, but then like the cymbals are on the right, and and it gives you a basis to start, putting them on sides, and then listen to it and then tweak it from there.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped a lot. Like, that really gave me a concept of like what I would do. And I think I did an all right job mixing those CDs.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Thank you. It'd be funny if you were like, okay, it's been 10 years. Now I can tell you.
Now I can tell
job.
you. Yeah.
But I also remember I enjoyed mixing them. The only thing I didn't like about mixing them is very similar to the only thing I don't enjoy about like doing movie editing, which is you really have to get away from it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that you can listen to it again to make it better. And I would get too excited and want to just be done. But, once I had mixed like a second album, it was a little bit more likely that when I was done with a long mixing session that the song was basically done.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I would listen to it and be like, wow, I just love it, because I'd be so in love with it. And then I'd come back a few days later and be like, it's tinny and wrong. Like, there's no backbone. What was I thinking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, tell me, give me your expensive college insights into recording music.
I don't have any.
Damn it.
But I could tell you my other concern about the little
I want to hear the other concern. Is it brain eating amoebas?
Only a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if they were brain eating amoebas on it, that would be bad because you're shoving it in your ears. But my other thing, and I don't actually know because you just brought this up and I've never even heard of them before, but if you're funneling the sound more into your ears, is that bad? Like, because your little cilias and all your stuff in there are like already working really hard not to die, and they're dying all the time. Like, do you want to make it more for them?
Well, supposedly I noticed that everything was quieter, not louder. Mm-hmm. So I think that it would probably be more protective than harmful to your eardrums. Not to say not to say that means they would be substantially protective. I'm just saying, like, if it makes things quieter, I'm guessing it's in some small way protecting your ears.
I guess.
Now, they don't recommend wearing them all the time. They recommend wearing them in times when you want to relax or listen to something like a television show or like headphones that can go over your ears. Obviously you can't wear earbuds because they'll bump. But so they don't recommend them for like all this crazy stuff. And the idea, to me, the reason I took the leap was the reviews were so good. And I was like, the idea that you could improve your general hearing for certain circumstances for like $12, I'm curious. Like, it doesn't sound like a big ripoff, It sounds like like an interesting thing.
Yeah.
And I'm stuck at home, so I wanted to know. But also, a lot of people who reviewed it said that it substantially helped their tinnitus.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
Change is hard, okay?
I'm sorry. It's not your fault that everybody says it wrong.
It might be, but by the way, it looks like it's very dark over there. Is it rainy?
It's dark. Do
I
you
just
want me to put a light on?
No, you look fine. I just noticed that that it was dark outside.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's really, really gray. So
yeah, we had yesterday was that way here. Until like 8:00, and then it was just like, hey, it's 71 degrees. And so I sat on my porch for a little while.
Oh, okay.
But no, so I mean, I'm gonna keep wearing these things every now and then. Some people said that it helps them sleep because of the reduction of noise, but you can still hear. So I'm curious to just wear them for a while. And since they're silicone, they're really easy to clean. They're super duper small. It comes with a little tiny pouch. And they sell things like a $5 thing. You can keep it on your keychain, but I already have an earplug case on my keychain because I don't go anywhere without earplugs.
You're smart.
But let me tell you something. When you have earplugs on your keychain, you are ready to do all kinds of fun things. You are ready to go to a music concert. You're ready to shoot firearms. I mean, you're just ready to do anything. One time I was visiting a friend at his farm, and a bunch of friends were there. And it was like, does anybody want to go out on the other side of the property and shoot? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, let me just see, because he doesn't have he's not a guns instructor. He doesn't have a bunch of hearing protection. And I was just like, pulled out my keychain and was like, I got my own earplugs. Let's go shooting, So, but because you wear earplugs when you're at concerts, right?
No, because I'm a really bad person who doesn't have earplugs that ever fit or that I could hear through.
Your ears are weird.
Yeah, so I need to, but I also go to a lot more shows that are not very loud than I go to loud shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's something that I think about. It's not like I've never worn earplugs at a concert, but it's been a while.
I do wear them if it's a a rock show or something, an electric show.
You should absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying that it's good that I don't actually. It's bad.
You're just saying you're tough.
Yeah, I'm tough and I don't need my hearing. Yeah.
Well, did I tell you? This is I'm a terrible person, but I have a decibel meter on my phone.
Yeah.
And when I go to the movies, I will flip on the decibel meter if I feel like it's loud, and if it crosses the threshold of hearing damage, I go complain.
I remember you saying that. That's pretty cool.
No, it's not. I must have made a change though, because it stopped happening so much. There were a few periods where I saw a couple of movies where I straight up put earplugs in.
Wow.
They were loud. Wow. So yeah. But because I had heard about how you can really damage your hearing at the movies because sometimes they just crank it.
Yeah.
And earplugs aren't too bad for 2 hours. They're all right. I mean, I could never play music with them, and it made me feel disembodied.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird feeling.
But definitely, when I would watch other people play, I'd put in earplugs. And then the other funny thing is you put them in, and people are like, what, you don't like the band? And I'm like, you don't understand how earplugs work. I hear them better. Also, in my left ear, I have this, when I get really loud noises, it just kind of fucks up.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just a part of getting older, from what I understand.
Huh. Interesting.
It's not serious, but yeah, sometimes if something's really loud, my ear just doesn't like it. And I'm kind of curious if these thingies are going to make that better.
Maybe.
They might. Yeah, and if not, I'm out 20 something bucks, but it turned into enough content to get Michelle judging me. So and that's what really matters.
Yeah.
But no, I will keep you posted on how they they work, because I'm curious if they're going to end up being something I give a shit about, or if I'm going to just kind of use them on rare occasions.
Yeah.
So I did notice during my lunch, I was watching TV and I felt like I could hear the TV a lot better. Like, because the moment I put them on, one of my first thoughts was just like, whoa, I can turn the TV down, but it doesn't sound loud. It's just like, I don't think it needs to be so loud, if that makes sense. It was weird.
I wonder, like exactly what's going on, because like if it's like cutting extraneous noises out, it might be helpful for people who have trouble concentrating on certain things. Because like I don't ever think it's not quiet enough, except if it's really, really loud. And I generally listen to things pretty low. But
Must be nice.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm not saying that everybody needs this or even anybody needs this. This is why I'm not even saying what the product is, because I don't want it to be like a testimonial for it, because that's not what I'm doing. I don't even know if it's worth a shit yet, but I find it interesting. And my first few hours wearing it, I found very interesting. So, and the experience from wearing it for 4 hours, the only reason I'm not wearing it now is because I have we wear earbuds to hear each other. Otherwise I would still be wearing them. The other thing was I found them to be comfortable enough to keep wearing them. So that's pretty handy. But I just love any opportunity to hack evolution is exciting. Because there really hasn't been enough time from, dying terrified of predators to now for our ears to have changed much.
Yeah.
So,
and even if there was, it's not like it would be something that like got people more sex and then they had more kids.
No, yeah, exactly. Now that we have like no predators to worry about, it just means that like good and bad ears will perforate at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But and I'm also I'm a big evolutionary biology nerd, so I do always get excited about the like. I'm like, I love evolution, and I'm like, look at these useless things it did. So, look at this all this tailbone's good for is bruising. So, if you bruised your tailbone, you had a knowing look.
I'm sure. Yeah.
No, you'd know.
I don't know then.
It sounds like you haven't. I bruised my tailbone. So when I was in a professional wrestling school, I kid you not, I was fine, and then I sat down after training and bruised my tailbone on the chair.
Oh.
Like I had just fallen like 80 times on purpose. And then I went to have a nice sit to relax and just went, and then it hurt to sit for a couple weeks.
Aw.
Yeah. And I bruised my tailbone once before that when I was in high school and I took a cycling class. I didn't bruise my tailbone in cycling class, but boy, did cycling class suck. Sitting on that little bicycle seat and going, ow, ow, ow.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to forget that there was no Amazon. Well, there was, but there wasn't an Amazon back then. So like you couldn't just go like, hey, this thing I'm doing kind of hurts. Is there a $7 solution that I can have tomorrow? Because that's what I do for everything now is, like, I remember I have a really nice wooden desk chair and I like it. But one day I was like, man, after a long day, my butt hurts. So then I was like, is there like like, what kind of cushions are there? Found a cushion, had it the next day, put it on the chair. And I was like, that's $9 well spent on my ass.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if these hearing things will matter or not. Oh, I also discovered that I have been stupidly using way too small earbuds.
Oh, you could.
Yeah. Sorry.
There are ones that are too small for you.
Yes.
Wow.
I used to always assume that I had small ears, so I would always put the smallest size cap on like the wireless earbuds. And my most recent earbud acquisition, I really like them, because they're the ones with no wires whatsoever. But I would always be mad because like if I needed to change my shirt, I'd always knock one out and all this stuff. And I was like, how could anybody jog in these? It says like they hold so well. Well, then I finally was wearing them while I was doing something and one fell out and I got really mad because I was like, if I lose one of these, it's like $69 down the toilet. So I pulled out the thingies because I save everything. I pulled out the thingies and I swapped them on for ones that were one size up. And when I put them in, I was like, whoa, the seal is like so good. I actually took them out and put an even bigger one on and stuck them in. And I was like, whoa, they're like in perfectly. Like I can't get them out. I mean, ever. I'm still wearing them.
Yeah. Oh, well, sorry.
They're permanent. No, but so now I wear those and literally like throughout my day, I'm like doing yard work and I never have to fiddle with them. I thought that you just always fiddled with them. That's probably a part of having anxiety. I just am like, but you fiddle with everything all day long,
Yeah,
right?
you
Otherwise
have
it
to.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like voodoo.
Well, I'm really glad. I can't fit any in my ears. The ones I'm wearing now fit for some reason. And they also don't fall out. I can just wear them. Except if I like pull really hard on them.
Well, that sounds like they fit great.
Yeah, but they're like the kind that are like they have silicone at the end and it's like a little cone and it goes in. Do you know that kind?
I do.
That's the only kind that will fit. The other ones just fall out because they're too big, so they're like not going in all the way.
Why is everything weird on you?
I don't know, but it's really hard to find a pair of headphones. Like these cost $5 and I'll have to just keep them forever because I'll just never find another one.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Are they Bluetooth?
No.
Oh yeah, $5. Why are they Bluetooth? I should have thought that one through. Well, they look cool.
They look, thanks.
So what, you
Yours
got
look
you got the
cool,
weird
too.
ears, you got the weird toenails.
Mm-hmm. Got all the weird double joint things going on.
Oh yeah, you are double jointed. Why?
We don't know.
Can you show a gross thing? Like,
Yeah, I can.
Oh god, I'm so squeamish.
Hold on. Let me. I don't know if you can tell, but that's what straight is. That's how my arm is straight.
Arm is not right. For those of you who are listening on audio only, Michelle held out her arm and then turned it, and it was the most disgusting experience of your life. As it bends too far.
That's straight for me.
That's
like if I did this isn't straight. This is like not extended all the way. I guess it's hyperextended. I don't know.
Did somebody just are you worried that like somebody hired a contractor that didn't have like a good Trulia rating to build you?
Well, no, they had a good Trulia rating or whatever that is, but like, you know, they were really cheap, so they just did an okay job.
Cut some corners.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it's just raining really, really hard.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah.
And I can't reach. Oh yeah, I can.
Is your window open?
Yeah.
Oh goodness, the storm wants in. Let it in.
I hope that the back door is okay, but I can't go there because I'm over here. So
I'm afraid I can't allow that.
Yeah, I'll just have a lake in the kitchen. So.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
I mean, you get a brain eating me, but do you really need to go check it right this second? You can. It's fine.
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah, go check your thing. Your eyebrows look so sad. Well, Michelle is unprofessional. She's just tempting me. This is really just Michelle's passive aggressive revenge against me. She's trying to make me need to edit the show, to take up more of my busy schedule, but I shall not edit the show. I shall just talk the entire time.
It's all really bad. It just wet everywhere. There's just a lot of water. Yeah. Well, yeah. And in everywhere else.
What everywhere? Are you sinking?
Yeah. So I can do the show with you, but that'll probably be the last that you hear from me.
My old job once, we busted a pipe and literally it was like the place was sinking. There was so much water.
That's not good.
Like the text I got was, come to work an hour early. We're sinking. And I was like, what? And when I got there, it was like, there was about a half a foot of water in one of the main rooms. And I was like, this is bad.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, this is really bad. And I was like, what do we do? Like, how do we start? But is your house okay? Like, what are you doing? Like, what
Oh, it's
happened?
okay.
I'm
I just
scared.
closed the door and I made the windows go down. So it's just wet everywhere, but that's okay. It's not that wet. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
wet.
Man, that must
So
be a hell of a rainstorm then.
no, that's just kind of what happens. So
What? So you and your house are a lot alike. It's like, why are you built this way?
I don't know, and I think we've discussed this in the past, but I don't know how it is where you live. But like when it rains, all the water everywhere I lived, it just comes in the windows. You gotta close the windows
That
and the door.
that almost never happens.
Yeah, it happens like I would say like 90% of the time it rains is coming in somewhere in the house.
That's so weird. Cause see, like when it rains, like now,
Hmm.
like I immediately pull out my phone and go, oh man, how long is this storm gonna last? Like, how much is it gonna drop the temperature? And if it drops the temperature enough, I'm like, oh man, I'm opening the windows.
Yeah.
Because I like the smell of the rainy air. Now, don't get me wrong. If there's like a real mean storm, I'm going to be like, I better close this. A little bit of water's getting in. But
Hmm.
like, that's so weird that like every time it rains, it's just, you've got water in your house now.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like that's normal.
No, it is normal, I think. Because everywhere else I've lived is like this too. So
That's weird.
I still think it might be like the kind of windows you have because you've got smaller windows and my windows are really long and big.
Maybe I have a bigger overhang.
Yeah, I mean, I've had water come in my front window before and that's got a porch, but
That's weird. How
I
does
mean,
that work?
that's a big storm. Like it just
Oh,
is coming in.
I mean, yeah, that's different. Big storms don't count. I mean, like as far as what we're talking about is like just a general rain. Big storms, water gets everywhere.
I wonder if it's because you have a one-story house, so your roof is closer.
That is, yeah, that's a good point.
Because it doesn't come in. It comes in the upstairs, but not as much as the downstairs. Because maybe it's so far away from the roof. I don't know.
I think you should just sell your house.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's time.
I'm gonna move.
You gotta call real estate agents and be like, look, I want a house that doesn't get very wet. and then when they like start saying like no follow-up questions, that's your job.
Yeah.
All right, house person, find me a house. Lean really into your Bronx ancestry on that too. Find me a damn house. But that could be. I haven't lived in a 2-story place in a really long time. Although when I lived in Jersey, I was the bottom floor and I had no problem with water coming in the windows ever.
I don't know.
Do you think it's you?
I mean, probably. When is it not me though?
That's very
So.
self-centered of you to feel that way.
Yeah.
That's so weird though. I'm sorry that your home almost flooded. I'm glad that I was kind enough to let you remember that, because that was your birthday present
Oh,
for next
thanks.
year was me letting you go close your windows and your back door.
Just remind me on my birthday, and it'll be fine.
No, if I go on your birthday, if I go, remember, back in whatever's time, August, I let you leave the podcast to close some windows. You're gonna be like, oh, you shouldn't have gotten me anything. You'll just be mad at me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you didn't have to let me have that.
Oh, I gotta get you something for Christmas. That's gonna be here before we know it.
I guess.
Let me look forward to holidays.
Okay.
I'm really nervous because, out here, Halloween is heavily centrally planned.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if we'll even have trick or treat.
You're not gonna have it.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
But do you think
sorry.
you guys will?
No.
Oh, so you guys are gonna take a page out of the Midwest book and all of a sudden start controlling trick or treat.
Oh, I mean, maybe someone will come, but I'm not opening my door for them. So.
Go away. Knock, knock, knock. Go away. Oh, so for people who are not from the Midwest, in the Midwest, and I am not saying that this is the better way to do it. I'm just saying that this is what I grew up with. So you got to understand that from my love of Halloween, there is Beggars Night is just a part of it. So I'm not going to say it's better or worse. It's just is. But out here, our municipalities designate a trick-or-treat day, which is referred to as Beggar's Night. Look at the face Michelle's making. Just the judgy fucking face of a fucking coaster. Don't make fun of my quaint Midwest ways, okay?
Okay.
When Beggar's Night started, it made a lot more sense than it does now. It used to be strictly the night before Halloween, and it was to so that the kids' celebration could be one night, and then the general celebration was the next night. Now it is generally pretty stupid. It's just like trying to keep trick-or-treat night it's trying to keep trick-or-treat not on the weekend. It's really stupid. And the other funny thing is, like, you'll look at a list of municipalities in my area, and it'll just say, like, Beggar's Night, 28th, 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 25th. 28th, 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 and you're like, why the fuck is this one community doing Beggar's Night like 3 days earlier? What? So we do have a thing where you take a look at your municipality to see when Beggar's Night is, and then you go out and trick or treat, and it's between 6 and 8, although it's not enforced. It isn't. When I was a kid, it was 6 and 8, because I told my mom that. I was like, man, I remember when we could just trick or treat all night. And my mom was like, it was 6 to 8 then, but you just did anyway. The cops didn't go around going, hey, you hoodlums in the masks, stop collecting candy.
Did you have cops out when you were trick-or-treating?
No.
We did. There were always cops around.
That's because you're bad people. You're on the coast.
I forgot.
We're good-natured, corn-fed Midwest people. We just want to exchange candy, and if we bump into someone, we say, "Oh, sorry, gotta scoot past you." But no, I remember when I was really young, we would trick-or-treat my neighborhood. Then we'd run up to my cousin's neighborhood, which was like 10 minutes up the road because it was a rich area, and I'd trick-or-treat one more time. It was awesome. My neighborhood is growing. Like, there's a lot of more families with children now, and trick-or-treat's starting to really pick up the last few years. Lots of kids. But anyway, my point is, so Beggar's Night. So yeah, trick-or-treat is designated, and I don't love it. It's just a part of how I've always understood Halloween. Stop shaking your head, you rat bastard.
It's okay. I understand that you like having authority figures tell you when you should do Halloween, but, I understand.
You're spicy today, Michelle.
I'm sorry.
But no, so yeah, because of that, it'll be very obvious if there's going to be trick or treat because we're used to getting it posted at a certain time.
Yeah.
So if Beggar's Night isn't posted at this certain time, we'll be like, something's up. We're probably not doing it.
I wonder if there will be like a backlash and people will just trick or treat on Halloween instead.
That might happen. Well, out here, it would be more likely that they would trick or treat. Well, it would depend. See, that's the thing. That's why I don't love the way Beggar's Night's done now. Because when I was a kid, it was always the night before Halloween. Now it will, like, if Halloween's on a Saturday, then Beggar's Night's on a Thursday. It's like really stupid. Like, but they claim it's to like, the claim is that they do that so that adults with their Halloween parties and their drinking and driving happens on a different night than trick or treat. That's the claim. I'm not saying that is why. I'm saying that's what they say. So but that always drove me crazy. But then every now and then, like, Halloween will be on a Thursday and they'll be like, Beggar's Night is the 31st. And you're like, what the fuck are we even doing? Like, come the fuck on. But no, so, I mean, if people decided to, like, rebel into trick or treat, they'd probably do it the night before Halloween.
Okay. Is
all I'm saying. Like, because that is anybody. I mean, I'm only 33. I'm not like that far removed from being a kid compared to, like, the Gen Xers and stuff. We all remember trick-or-treating the night before Halloween out here. I remember my first year in Jersey asking a lady at a diner, when is trick-or-treat? And she was like, what? And I was like, Beggar's Night. And she was like, huh? I was like, when did the kids come for candy? And she was like, Halloween? And I was like, okay. And then I Googled Beggar's Night and was like, oh, it's a Midwest thing. will say though, the phrase "Beggar's Night" sounds really cool. Beggar's Night. I think it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys have Mischief Night?
Uh-huh.
See, we had Beggar's Night and Mischief Night were the same night. So it was like, get a bunch of candy, then fuck some shit up.
Well, okay. I mean, I like having a day just to fuck some shit up, but I understand.
Fucking coastal people.
And you gotta, like, bring all your stuff inside because they're gonna get your pumpkins. And they do. They're really bad kids.
Man, it's the purge where you live. Out here, I swear, sometimes when trick or treat's over, I have an extra jack-o'-lantern.
They just bring it for you. They're like, here you go. We like you so much. Thank you for the candy.
I've never had a pumpkin smashed. I've only had,
yeah.
I've had, when I had a tree in my front yard, it would get TP'd every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, we had in Plainsboro, we've definitely had at least one pumpkin smashed. So they just do it.
Well, see, if you want to hear something really sad, my house used to get toilet papered anyway when I was a kid because I lived there.
I was afraid that you would say something like that.
You're like, the sadness of your childhood knows no bounds. I'm always ready for the next sad thing.
Aww.
But if you want to know the type of person I was, I remember standing in my lawn with the tree. We had 3 trees when I was a kid. We took 2 down when I was 17 years old. But we had 3 at that time, which is a lot of trees. And it's funny because I remember thinking, like, I can't believe you get rid of those trees. They're so beautiful. And now every tree anywhere near my house, I'm like, God damn it. One day I'm going to have to take that fucking tree down because it's going to get too big. The roots are going to get in my fucking sewer. It's going to hit my roof. Like, anyway.
Yeah, I don't feel that way about trees.
I have some trees that are like now touching my roof and stuff, and they're going to be a problem. Anyway, my point is, but we had 3 trees, so I would come out though. When I was a teenager, 15, 16 years old, I was making my little horror movies in the backyard, right? And the way you made like gore, like guts and pieces of like flesh for horror movies effects is you would take paper towels and toilet paper and you just mix it with a ton of fake blood and it becomes this gooey, gross shit. And I remember standing outside my house after the kids were all running away yelling faggot at me. And I remember pulling all the toilet paper down that I could reach and then putting it in the garage and I turned it into fake blood and gore for one of my backyard movies.
Well, that's good.
You look so sad.
I wish that I could help you in the past.
Oh God, now we're becoming that meme. Girls have a time machine, guys have a time machine.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do? Okay, this is important. What would you do if you had a time machine? For me as a kid, like what would Michelle do?
So I assume I'm going back in time and I'm just me going back in time,
yes,
correct?
Yes.
So I guess I could just be like a really crazy person who like hangs around your block and just scares kids away. like it would be good if I could buy a house and just be the crazy person that like watches over you.
You would the DeLorean would drop you off in like 2002 and you'd just be like, God damn, the property value's really good here right now. Fuck. And then when you'd apply for a loan, they'd be like, well, Ms. Adler, you are 13. And you're like, it's like, well, clearly you're not 13. You're an illegal immigrant who stole a 13-year-old girl's social security number. Take her away. And then no one would come because you're just at a bank. Like, you'd be like, oh, right, I can't do that. Would you sit quietly for 45 minutes while the police come?
Yes.
You'd be like, of course.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I understand. I will follow your ways in the past.
So your plan would be to just become like the pigeon lady in Home Alone too?
Yeah. I guess I don't really need a house then. So
yeah, I was gonna say the only problem is this neighborhood didn't have a lot of homeless people. You'd probably stick out.
No, I'll figure it out. I could just live in my car, but like I'll be really clean and quiet, so no one will get upset.
And people would be like, "That's a nice car. What is it?" And you'd be like, "It's a 2017." And they'd be like, "Ah, you're from the future." Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then
Yeah.
you clean up in 2008 when the housing market crashed. Oh my
Oh
God,
yeah.
you'd
Oh
clean up.
yeah. See, this is gonna be good. I'm okay with going back some years. I'll be better prepared when it's 2020 again. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You wouldn't be better prepared. I don't
No, I'm
think
gonna
that's
do
possible.
something. No, I don't know what it's gonna be, but I'll do it. And I'll fix everything.